Hello, Skelevaderites, and welcome to episode 18 of Skele's Weekly Weirdo. I took last week off. We've been busy around here renovating the living room, and it was Father's Day, and so it was a nice week to have, nice weekend to have off. I'm here today, back at it, and got JMax77 watching. JMax77 says, "Hey Skele, thanks for the weekly weirdo. Been looking forward to it." Oh, I'm glad. That's awesome. That's wonderful. Folks, let others know that this is happening. And we got Cobweb Collector here. Good to see you, Cobweb. Always good to see you both. All right. So today's weekly weirdo. Just to give you a little bit of context. I've been holding off on showing this figure. I was tempted to do a review video over the weekend, during last week, because this was also a Father's Day gift. I'm real excited to talk about this guy. Duchess, welcome. Good to see you. But I wanted to spend a little bit of more time with this particular toy, this particular action figure. Because this character has significance. Everything that I talk about on this particular in this particular venue of the weekly weirdo thing, the purpose, one of the main purposes of this is so I can go through the collection of things that I have and make sure that there's genuine joy behind having had it, behind having it as part of the collection. It's a way for me to weed through what I have and make sure that everything is relevant to me now, currently. And so far, the things that I've chosen to talk about are certainly things I want to hold on to. And this one today that I'm going to talk about is certainly one of those too. So, Pop Actor, welcome to it. Bunch of weirdos. It's Sunday. That's right. Now, I want to also say that I am exhausted today. It's been an exciting and productive week. Several weeks actually. Getting close to finishing this. Let me rephrase that. As of about a half an hour ago, the Snake Mountain is done. So this evening, I'm going to be editing the stage 10 video, the final stage, showing how the Snake Mountain came together in the last, during the last week and a half, and because there's some things in the previous video I didn't show that I wanted to hold off to showing in this particular video. So it's exciting. That's going to be done. And then after that, on a week from yesterday, so on this coming Saturday, I'm going to actually drive it to Bakersfield, which is about 2 hours away from here, and deliver it to the person who commissioned it. So it's been an exciting ride. I've been loving building this thing. A part of me falls deeply in love with these projects as I'm working on them. So it's actually good that I get to give it to the person who's going to be taking over, and it takes a while to sort of get through that kind of separation. That's really what it is. You work on this thing, and then you let it go. So I'm excited that it'll be in Manny's hands, the guy who commissioned it, and that it'll be part of his collection. And it'll be good for me too to take a little bit of a break and focus my creative urges elsewhere. So on our U83 here, welcome to it. I just got back from grocery. Hey, man, I understand. Half the check goes away on the food. At least you're feeding yourself, right? That's the most important part. Yeah. So if you're a toy collector like all of us watching and me, if you're if you are finding that you're having to pinch your pennies for your food because you picked up something, then maybe reconsider your collection, right? Like maybe sell off a few things, or and that's what I've been doing lately. I've been selling a few things here and there to get new things, spending very little. Um, uh, Actually, it was it was part of my New Year's resolution is to not spend much extra. So try to sell something and then buy something with that. It's been nice. I finally have. Those of you who watch this channel know that something that I've been trying to get a hold of for a while. I sold off a few things, and I finally have a battle ram, a vintage battle ram, coming my way, and I really love the battle ram, and found a pretty good deal on eBay, and happy to have it on its way. Pop actor, I rent food. That's funny. And Giraffe, welcome. Yes, it's weekly weirdo time. So this week is an exciting week to share my weekly weirdo. This is a new acquisition. Sometimes I try to show stuff I've had for a while, but sometimes it's a brand new thing. This particular character, I have a deep emotional bond to. And in fact, he's an important character in our household too, which is fun. I don't always get to share my interests with my two daughters and my wife. They're not huge into Masters of the Universe. Our youngest was into She-Ra for a while. Got to share that with her for a little bit. But when my wife and I rewatched this movie that I'm going to announce here in just a moment that this figure comes from, it was her first time, or when I rewatched it with her, it was her first time experiencing this particular actor and this particular story, and she was immediately hooked. And I got lucky, and now both of our daughters have seen part 2 of this particular trilogy. I mean, it's gone beyond the trilogy, I think, a little bit now, I can say. But they're all on board, and we're about to watch the third one together as a family. It'll be like the 20,000th time I've seen the third one, but I'm excited to share it with my family. So Pop actor saying, I found a battle ram with the 3 red cannons. That's awesome. So the battle ram I found was in pretty good shape. Its stickers are a little bit worn, which is okay with me. I don't mind if my figures look a little bit played with, my vintage ones. And I had to order a separate 1 red cannon missile. So I've got the separate red cannon missile coming. So I'll be talking about that in a future episode of Weekly Weirdo, I think, or I'll show it off on Toy Frenzy. Depends on when it gets here. So today's Weekly Weirdo is Ash Williams, particularly from Evil Dead 2. My wife got me this for Father's Day, which was really sweet. And she got it because we sort of shared a nice experience. For me, rewatching this movie, her for the first time, she really dug it and she got into it. So we are able to share Ash Williams as a character and the Evil Dead franchise as a family. Maybe not ready to share the newest films with the whole family, but the original trilogy, yes, indeed. So she picked up Evil Dead 2 Ash Williams for me. He's actually my favorite version of Ash. I like the Ash from the first one, but I've had in-depth conversations with folks where they felt adamantly pro Evil Dead, the first one, and adamantly pro Evil Dead, the second one. I happen to like all 3 of the movies individually and for different reasons. This one Evil Dead 2 is the first time we really get to see a lot more of the slapstick or the comedic elements begin to emerge, but there's still a very distinct horror vibe to that movie. And that's why I feel like this one over the years has become my favorite of the trilogy, of the Evil Dead trilogy. Army of Darkness was actually the first film that I watched um, of of the Evil Dead trilogy when it came out. I think I saw it at a party or something like that, and and I just liked it immediately. It did all the things that I wanted to see. It had a little bit of the Monty Python humor there, but also a little bit of the slapstick, you know. And growing up with the Three Stooges, I have a deep appreciation for that, and also sci-fi horror elements too. Um, and so it was sort of like something I'd never seen before when I first saw Army of Darkness. Then I had all these friends that were like, "Well, you got to see Evil Dead 1." And then they also said, "You got to see Evil Dead 2." And they also warned me that Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2 were almost like the same movie. Um, but Evil Dead 1 is great. It's a little bit more serious. For those of you that haven't watched these movies, I'm not going to give too much away because you should watch all three of those. A little bit more serious, but Evil Dead 2 is again one of my favorites. Is at this stage, I'm just going to say at this stage in the game because my opinion changes and our opinions do change, right? They're fluid. They change with time. But right now, Evil Dead 2: Dead by Dawn is my favorite of the three movies. Um, Pop actor, I did not know there was a third one. Yeah, the third one is Army of Darkness. It's just not called Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. It's just called Army of Darkness. And you absolutely have to see that. Not that you're going to enjoy it, but I'm willing to, you know, bet a couple bucks that you will enjoy it because it's great. And oh my goodness, so we got Ostradamus Toys. We got Oz joining us. Oz, great to see you. Great to see you, man. And JMax77 saying hi to Oz, and then Nolan joining us too. Hi, Skelly in chat. Yeah, great to see you guys. This is gonna be. I'm gonna do a lot of talking today about this character because I've had such a long, wonderful relationship with this guy. But Bruce Campbell is one of my favorites. Oh, no one says Army of Darkness was your first in the series and your favorite. So yeah, I just mentioned that Army of Darkness was what sold me on the series. Evil Dead 2 has swiftly become has become my favorite of the trilogy. But Army of Darkness was certainly what got me into it in the first place, and for a long time it was my favorite. And Duchess of Darkness saying hello to Nolan, and Pop Actor saying Evil Dead 1 is a low-budget film in the style of Texas Chainsaw or Night of the Living Dead. Yes, very much so. It's low budget. It feels low budget. Evil Dead 2, they had a little bit more money, and then Army of Darkness, they had a lot more money. The budget differences are very, very clear in all three of those movies. So I've been really hesitant. As I've become a bit more picky about what I'm going to be buying for myself lately, trying to save a little bit of money um, and hone my collection to be a collection of things that I'm really just I don't want to part with, things that will always give me joy, not just like, oh, that's cool right now. It's something that will actually stay with me for a long time. So I'm basing a lot of that on nostalgia and or years of experience with that thing, years of a kind of relationship with that thing. So in this case, this particular Ash is I've been hesitant to buy any other Ash Williams from the NECA lines, but this one, when I saw it, in the store, I showed it to my wife. I was like, "This is the one." I mean, look at that face. And then she surprised me with this as a gift for Father's Day. But I put the axe in his hand for now. But look at the facial expression on this guy. It's hard to see, but he's looking off to the side. This is that classic expression like that we know from that film, where he's just totally uh, like creeped out by everything that's happening around him, suspicious of everything. And this is after he's already lobbed off his hand. And this figure comes with a bunch of great accessories. I'm going to show those to you. So this is where this also comes with Linda, his possessed girlfriend, or I think fiance, girlfriend, um, her possessed head after he's chopped her head off. And that's really great too. And also comes with this. I mean, NECA's great, but I've watched them evolve over the years, and their sculpts right now are just phenomenal. It's I see those Universal monsters in the stores, and I'm just like blown away at the Bela Lugosi likeness and the Boris Karloff likeness and the Wolfman and the Lon Chaney Jr. likeness. But I just can't get all those things. I get one and I got to get them all. And that's how I feel like that's part of this thing, right? Um, so I try to identify a singular character from a line and attach myself to that, so that and I try to find the one that is mine. And for me, with Universal Monsters, it's always Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's like that is my character. Um, and with Evil Dead, it's Ash, but there are so many Ash Williams now for us to choose from. I'm glad this one came around. And this is his possessed face, which is fantastic. I like that they both have the white eyes from the film. And actually, this lines up quite well with my, those of you who collect these, and you've seen it on my channel, the white eyes of Clawful. I love it. And my Colin Robinson Funko Pop from What We Do in the Shadows, he's up there though. So it comes with, I was a little disappointed. It would be really cool if that had if you could put this on Ash, but you can't. It's just a little sculpt that goes along. It's like an accessory, just like the tape recorder or this is what Ash plays. They happen upon this, they play it, and the words from the Necronomicon are said by the professor, and then that unleashes all the evil spirits, right? The Necronomicon, this is not supposed to be a review video, but I'm just going to use this time to talk a little bit about what works in with this figure and what doesn't for me. Lon Chaney Sr. is your favorite pup actor? Absolutely. And if you listen to the Cambridge and Washawn podcast that I do with my friend Mark, you know that I have an obsession with makeup effects, and Lon Chaney Sr. was the king for me. He still is. Someone who can just bring their own supplies, do their own makeup, and just be just embed themselves in the character. I love Lon Chaney Sr. Pop actor says, too bad Allison isn't here. She's into these horror films. Cool, yeah. Maybe she'll watch later on, right? Has NECA done an evil warrior Ash from Army of Darkness? I'm not aware of that, but that would be really cool. That would be a difficult one to resist to. I feel like they did. I don't quote me on it. I very rarely buy NECA, but their Warduke drew me in. Yes, Warduke looks amazing. I have a thing about that character. I want to get myself a vintage one. So I'm keeping an eye out for a vintage Warduke. But the NECA one is gorgeous. It really is. Oz says NECA is fantastic. Yeah. So and if anyone else here is a fan of Evil Dead or Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead movies, you can tell me this, but I feel, just from watching the movies so often, I feel like this Necronomicon is a little bit small. So if I put want to put it right next to his head so you can see the size. I mean, it's the size of a, I guess it would be the size of a paperback book, based on the, based on this, based on the size of the Necronomicon here, and I have a vague recollection, not vague, pretty distinct actually, that the Necronomicon was about this big as opposed to this big, like this big as opposed to that. Maybe I'm just being too picky, but he does come with the Necronomicon, and it's adorable. It's got the the creepy face on here, and teeth and everything, which is good. It's hard to tell. It's very small. Um, but I do, something in me says this is a little too small for this figure. I mean, I'm going to do the research later on, and I'll probably realize that it's the perfect size because NECA is amazing that way. He when Ash gets possessed, his body, his entire body gets possessed, but it ends up sort of, there's a moment where the possession is just in the hand. He chops his hand off, and the hand comes alive, and sort of has black fingernails, and it's super creepy looking. It's kind of like an evil version of Thing from the Addams Family. I forget who said it in here. I think it was right at the beginning, so I'm going to go back here. Pop actor, yes. I like it when the hand points the middle finger. Yes. So when the hand is possessed, it flips Ash off, which is one of the most hilarious moments in the film. So it comes with the possessed hand. It comes with his sort of transitional arm, so I can replace. I can take the hand off where he's got his after he's chopped his hand off, and I can put this on there. And it's, you can already see, sort of looking at the hand as if it's possessed. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, this head off, and put the possessed head on because it matches better with that particular. I always get nervous about NECA figures, but yeah, super great. I love it. I'm already laughing. I want to take a moment and talk about the articulation. NECA figures always make me nervous. The articulation's good. All of his joints are stiff, but I always get, like, for instance, this just pops right off. And though I'm not going to be playing with this guy, he's just going to be on display, I always just get a little nervous about how easily these things sort of come apart from one another. So then I can take this hand off, and I can give him his sort of he also comes with a normal hand, although it doesn't want to go on there. There we go. And then I take this head off and put his other head back on, normal head. So yeah, this is sort of Ash with his normal hands, sort of creeped out about what's going on. And he also comes with his iconic shotgun. Very cool. I noticed that it does have a little hole here underneath the barrel, as if it could rest permanently on the nub hand arm. Oh, but I thought there would be a way to attach it, and there isn't. I thought maybe I just ran into it. But it seems like it was made to have a little peg to hold it on there, because there is a moment toward the end of the movie where he's holding the shotgun with his arm that has the hand lopped off. So that's interesting, and maybe it came from a different set, or the mold came from a different set, but it does, you can see it there. It does have a little notch there to put something on. And Nolan says would be perfect for a 4-inch figure. Oh, the Necronomicon. Yeah, it seems that way, right? It does seem a little small. I could probably, yeah, too big for a 3.75-inch figure, so you can't really use that with like a Super 7 reaction or vintage Star Wars, but um, it feels like that Necronomicon is a little bit small. I want to point out a couple of things here. So in the box art, this is my favorite scene from the movie, the laughing stag head, taxidermy stag head on the wall. There's a moment right here in this scene. He's freaking out, and this thing is laughing like a maniac. And I was thinking if they came out with another Evil Dead 2 version of Ash, it would be the decision to incorporate the chainsaw. So the chainsaw would be included, and the laughing stag head should be included. Um, I actually feel like this set should have come at this price point, could have come with one more accessory, and it could have been that laughing stag head. So, this week's Weekly Weirdo episode 18 is Ash from Evil Dead 2. This is my first Ash NECA figure, and it's my favorite from the series. And so we'll see where this goes from here. But they've already done like several Ash figures that I've seen, and this is the most recent one. The Evil Dead one is good too, because he's so youthful looking in that, and a little bit more serious. But this guy's great. I'm taking off his arm. I'm putting back his nub arm because I really like that. And then I'm going to give him his shotgun and have his shotgun resting on his nub arm, just similar to that. Because there's a great scene. If you're familiar with the movie, there's an iconic image of him like this. And I'm ecstatic. I'm happy to share the Evil Dead franchise, or the Sam Raimi Evil Dead franchise, with my family. I'm really lucky that my wife got me this for Father's Day, and she's great. And I really like this figure. He's great. Gotta love NECA stuff, man. It's just awesome, and it continuously surprises. The quality of their work is getting better and better, and the figures that they are releasing. I mean, my Alf figure, he's like right behind me here. You can't see it, but he's right behind me. But my Alf NECA figure is one of my favorites in the collection. He's amazing. So thank you all so much for watching. I really want to say a huge thank you to the patrons of this channel. MotuOriginsCork, Julia Honer, My Buddies Customs, Brick Something, Carol Geis, Don Roberts, Thanos Copter, and John from Figuratively Speaking. I really appreciate everything that you contribute and have contributed to this channel. And thank you all so much for watching. Those of you who are just tuning in, I appreciate you. And Pop Actor saying, I saw the Friday the 13th Jason figures. I was too tempted. So too tempted means you went for it, right? Pop Actor, you went for it and you got some of those Friday the 13th figures. Yeah, they're great. I mean, if you like horror films, NECA is doing great stuff with horror iconography. Also, I want to mention that we recorded a new episode of Cambridge and with Sean. If you're interested in hearing those episodes ahead of time or before they come out on Weirding Way Media or wherever you stream your podcasts, and if you want to listen to them commercial free, you can do so if you become a patron of this channel. I know money's tight. If you feel like contributing, great. If not, just being here, is enough for me. It's so awesome to have you all here. And it's so funny. Glad to be here, Cobb. Cobb was like reading my mind. Glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too, man. Cobweb, you are awesome. And I can show you this right now. Cobb donated the this he's Skeletor that's right up here at the very, very top. And he's been up there for a little bit, proudly displayed. Thank you so much, Cobb, for that. I really, really appreciate it. Pop Actor says he walked away from the Friday the 13th figures. There's a lot. I mean, I understand. Like, I haven't jumped into the NECA Universal Monster figures yet because I feel like if I get one, I might feel like I need to get them all. I am lucky though that I have figured out what it is I really want from those lines, and sticking to your guns is important, folks. We should be collecting out of joy, not just because it's a passing interest, right? Long-term joy. Anyways, if you're looking for this and you're looking for it in your local Targets, that's the barcode. It's a little hard to see, it doesn't want to focus. But this is great. They're in Target stores now, and it's awesome. I saw Frankenstein. Yes, Frankenstein monster is he's an icon. Boris Karloff, right? Yeah, it's hard. I did pick up one. I do have a Frankenstein, and I'm happy I have that one from the NECA line. It's the glow-in-the-dark Frankenstein monster that came on the vintage style Remco card back. So it's still a 7-inch or 6-inch figure like this. He's taller than Ash, but he's on that vintage style card back. So that's something I felt like that's something I need to have. That'll last me for the rest of my life. And Cobweb saying, very welcome, sir. Well, I appreciate you all. This channel's grown substantially. I really appreciate you all being here. I'm distracted here. A Pop Actor says they have Colin Clive. They have the Colin Clive figure. Colin Clive, I believe. Oh, so you meant they have the Dr. Frankenstein. I believe that's Colin Clive, right? Or is that a question? You're asking a question mark. Okay. Oh, so I haven't seen it yet. I don't know that they do. I was genuinely surprised when you just mentioned that. So I don't think they have it yet. That'd be that. I see. I was wondering. So that would be something that they should release. Something I saw in the store Friday was the Bride of Frankenstein figure. Not the April O'Neil Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Bride of Frankenstein, but the true Elsa Lancaster Bride of Frankenstein, and she looked great too. So if you're collecting that stuff, if you're collecting horror characters or Universal Horror, any of that stuff, NECA is doing a great job with it. So folks, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Do stay tuned. Either tonight or tomorrow, I will be posting the stage 10 of the Snake Mountain build. I did a little work with resin to get the lava to be what I wanted it to be, and what Manny was requesting as well, the person who commissioned it. And I feel like everything's come together. It's the Filmation style Snake Mountain based on the vintage playset, but mostly the cartoon, a little bit of the Super 7 playset as well, is finally done. So, and the living room's almost done too. I don't know if you saw that. That was the taped off area back there. Living room's almost done too. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for your interest and for being here and tuning in. And I will see you in the next video. I'm gonna do my long goodbye, and